All right, welcome back to Big Head Small Cap. It's a bit of a bloodbath today. Uh, Apparently, inflation rose more than the market expected it to, so the market's down across the board. My stocks are no different. ACMR took it the hardest. Uh, so, kind of getting hit across the board. If we go to the to our watch list, we'll see, you know, basically everything is in the red. Monday's surviving, but that doesn't count because yesterday it got killed. So um, the uh, the news, though, specific to my stocks that's somewhat upsetting is that Inmode actually reported earnings that were not good. So I had hoped that Inmode would have a little bit of an upside surprise. It was trading like it would, but it did not, and it traded down pretty aggressively. I mean, not that bad, and its numbers weren't horrible. So um, it's all okay, but it disappointed on top line revenue. Here, let's see what it's saying. Uh, Non-GAAP earnings per share rose 8%. Excuse me. Yeah, full year revenue rose 8%. Earnings rose 6% to those numbers. And then they guided for basically within that same basic range again next year. So they're guiding for effectively flat, which I guess is a little bit better or right in the range of consensus on the earnings and a little bit on the revenue, a little bit higher on the earnings. But I just don't think that's enough to do really anything with the stocks. So I think the stock's probably likely to, I don't know, wander around, not do much interesting at all. We don't have, let me hide that. Okay, welcome back to Big Head Small Cap. It's a bit of a bloodbath today. Inflation was higher than people expected. Just what I thought was marginal, but whatever, higher than people expected. So the market's getting killed across the board. All my names are taking it, so nothing really crazy there. In addition, Inmode reported numbers that weren't actually surprisingly positive. I thought it had been trading very much like it was going to have good numbers, and that ended up not really being the case. Let's see, what they reported was uh, revenue and non-GAAP earnings. Revenue rose 8%. Not Earnings rose 6% year over year, and then they guided for basically flat revenue in that same range, and then earnings basically pretty much dead flat. Although that is above consensus, so it's not horrible. It wasn't it wasn't a disaster. I guess the consensus was relatively spot on, but I don't know that it's enough to keep this stock going. Obviously, stock dropped pretty precipitously. Some of that probably on the announcement, some of it on the market. But I'll probably just try to ride this out, maybe see if I can get a profit. If not, just blast this one out also, because I think it's probably pretty frozen money. Um, Nothing else is really going on. I was hoping that with the market getting hit, some of my names would drop enough for me to get back into them. But that does not appear to be the case. It looks like it's pretty much just a dead day, a day I'm going to lose money, but not be able to do anything, which is kind of like the worst of all days. Um, but I still have some dry powder, so I'm not feeling too bad. Oh, look, this thing's coming back. Yeah, I guess there's one thing good about Catalyst Pharmaceutical hardly ever trading is it hardly ever trades. Well, actually, excuse me, it trades. Hardly ever moving is that it hardly ever moves. So on a crappy day like today, guess what? Hardly ever moved. But still, that's not really a great selling point. Um, yeah, so we're down. We're down. We were closing in on 50. We were basically at 60% yesterday. So 60K yesterday. So we're down 10K. Pretty bad day. but hopefully we'll work our way back up. I'm not too worried about it. So anyway, that's it. Big nothing day. I'll update you at the end of the market if anything good happens. Thanks. Bye. All right, let's do an end of market close again. It was a complete massacre today. Everything was down, but my stuff was particularly down. People really didn't like the Inmode earnings, which was a huge problem because I had gone long Inmode. I had a fair amount. I think, as I said 2 days ago, I bought some more. Not a crazy position. I'm very comfortable holding it, so I'm not going to lose sleep about it. But that said, I mean, I lost money. I lost a lot of money. There's no two ways about it. So, yeah, listen, everything got crushed. I got into Rivian. I tried that trade. I saw it was at one point down 8% and Tesla was only down 2%. So I was like, okay, let me give it a try. And it did come back. Whether or not tomorrow that will end up having been a good thing or not, I don't know. Let's see. But I also got back into Crescendo at 590 and I executed a trade at Perion that I had entered a while ago. And honestly, I kind of forgotten about at 280. All that adds up to I am over my skis again. I'm going to have to sell. I think I'm going to sell my ACMR and get right back. Then I'll be back in a good spot. So I'm not too worried about being over my skis, frankly. But let's see what happens tomorrow. If the market gets crushed again tomorrow, I'm going to have to probably capitulate on some of these, which, whatever. That sucks, but I think they'll all come back together. I think a lot of this is just the market move. I mean, if we go and look at, other than Inmode, if we look at our interesting names, I mean, just check this out. I'll do 50. And with the exception of one or two names, it's just a bloodbath. Everything got crucified today. Derm got crucified today. That's one we want to get into. Obviously, Inmode, that was ours. Navitas got killed. Perion got killed. That's what allowed us to get into it. Talkspace got killed. So kind of everything. So I don't want to fret it. Let's just see what tomorrow brings. I will probably have to do something to right size myself, and I no longer have dry powder. But like I said, I can sell this one out and have gotten made money on it. And at that point, I will have made good money on AMCR. If I look at my two AMCRs, that one plus that one, I will have made close to $5,000 or $4,000 at least. So I'm happy with that. It's a good result. So anyway, that's what happens, and keep your fingers crossed for tomorrow. I really don't want to suffer another really bad day, but we'll see. All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you later.